But hey, speaking of rowdy, we have to kick off the show with an amazing segment here. We were able to speak to none other than Invicta's Rowdy Beck Hyatt yesterday. And what an incredible interview, what an incredible story, what an incredible person she is. And she lives up to the name. She likes to get a little bit rowdy. So I don't even want to waste any more time. Let's go to Beck Hyatt, shall we? And joining us now here on In the Cage with Bards, it is a real treat. I am so excited to have this next guest. We just saw her fight Carla Esparza in the main event of the last Invicta show and putting up just an incredibly gutsy and spirited effort in a decision loss. She is the pride of Australia right now. The one, the only Rowdy Beck Hyatt joins the program. How are you doing this morning, Beck?
Hey, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and it's actually 8 in the morning Australia time there, so I think this is the most we've ever had to inconvenience someone in terms of waking them up early, so I do appreciate the time.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'm already up early anyway because the kids always wake me up, so it's all good.
Well, there you go. A mother's work is never done, and a mother's work is, sleep deprived usually, right?
Yes, definitely. I'm always a zombie.
Well, you look like you're doing well, and you've really taken the women's MMA world by storm with this effort at Invicta. How have you been dealing with the sudden rush of attention?
I've been dealing with it well, actually. I'm really quite mellow, so it doesn't really worry me. I've been bombarded, like my email and my manager's email's been bombarded, and but my husband, he's my manager at the moment, he deals with it all, so I can just pretty much chill out and just keep training and don't have to worry about it all. But it's nice, but it hasn't really fazed me at all.
Well, that's good to hear. Good to hear you're keeping grounded, even with the sudden rush of fame. But if you'll indulge me, let's just go right back to the beginning. How does a nice Australian girl wind up in a sport like mixed martial arts?
I've always been rough growing up, believe it or not. I've always been a little tomboy. But I got into kickboxing because I was really overweight. So I got into kickboxing to lose some weight and get fit, and that's where I met my husband, who's an MMA fighter. So he got me into the mixed martial arts side of things, and I loved it and just kept going back and kept training, and the weight kept dropping off and I kept getting better. So yeah, I've always competed in sports when I was little, so to compete's just a natural thing to do.
So taking those first classes, that was more based on fitness goals and things of that nature than any sort of attachment to combat sports itself?
No, I never did combat sports growing up. I competed in basketball and gymnastics, but I enjoyed the kickboxing class. I knew that kickboxing was really good to shred the kilos. So, and once I started doing it, I really loved it, and I loved the competitive side of it as well. So, yeah, I wish I had a background in combat sports. It would have made it a lot easier transitioning into it.
One would think. But, I always say that MMA brings people together. That's kind of my mantra. I've said it 100 times in this show. And it's certainly true in your case because you wound up marrying your kickboxing instructor, the great Danny Hyatt.
Yeah. Yeah, he was, I fancied him pretty much the minute I saw him. He probably motivated me more to go to training than the sport at first, but then I fell in love with the sport as well, so it was a win-win situation.
Yeah, it sounds like. And one of the coolest things I've heard about you is that you named your child after the legendary Ensign Inoue. What pushed you in that direction for the name?
My husband has always followed Ensign before I knew Dan, and when we got when I fell pregnant with Ensign, he said that he wanted to name him Ensign, and he showed me Ensign's videos, and I started following him, and I fell in love with him instantly as well. He's just an awesome guy, and he's just a warrior. The way he fights and all his fights on Pride and stuff, I just loved his spirit and the way he went about his ways. So yeah, I instantly fell in love with him like my husband. So yeah, we thought Ensign would be an awesome name, and pretty much as soon as I went into labour, we were talking to Ensign on the internet and told him that we we're going to name our son Ensign, and he asked for photos and progress and stuff. So yeah, he's a really good guy and really interested in his fans and his followers.
Wow, that's fantastic. So is the next child going to be named Fedor then?
No, I'm not. I don't think I'm going to have another one. If not, it'll be a while until I have another one. I want to keep fighting and probably when I retire we'll think about it, but I might be too old by then.
Yeah. Now, when you first stepped into the cage, you lost your first fight via head kick KO to the unbeaten at the time, Rhiannon Thompson. Take us back to that night, and having that happen in your debut, did it make you second guess going back at all?
No, not at all. It made me more determined. I still say to this day that she got lucky. I made a mistake and she capitalised on it. And I was kicking her ass for 2 minutes something. But I think it drove me more to train harder and fix my mistakes and get back in there. And I've always asked for a rematch with her, but she turned it down. So I'm on to bigger things now. But I think it was probably the best thing to happen in my career. I've got nothing to be scared of anymore. A lot of people don't know what it feels like to be knocked out, and that's always in the back of their head that they don't want to get knocked out or whatever. But it's nothing wrong with getting knocked out. It was just I had a little sleep and I woke up a little disappointed. So it's probably the best thing that's happened to me, actually.
Yeah, I guess when you get the worst out of the way in the beginning, then everything else is a little bit easier. Am I right?
Yeah, definitely. I go in there with no fear. I know what to expect. So, yeah, it's definitely a good thing.
Yeah. And you got back up and won your next 4 straight before being invited to Invicta. Were you on the Invicta radar previously to that you knew of, or did that call come as a total surprise?
No, I was scheduled to fight Joanne Calderwood on the same card.
Right, yeah. I'm talking prior to that, though, prior to even the Calderwood fight being announced. Did you know that Shannon and Janet were having a look at you, or is it just out of the blue?
Yeah, they said that I was on their radar, and I had to keep winning fights, win a few more fights, and they'd bring me over. So I won my fight in October, and that's when they contacted me.
Excellent. And like we say, you originally supposed to fight Joanne Calderwood. Then with Claudia Gaudela out with the injury, you were tapped to fight for the title. What was your reaction when you got to the word that they wanted you to step up and fight in the main event and fight for the title?
I was ecstatic. I was really excited. I couldn't believe that they'd actually asked me, but then I found out they asked a lot of other girls that turned it down, and then I'm like, really? People turned that fight down? That's crazy. So I was definitely keen to get in there and step up for the promotion and put on a good fight, which I'm pretty sure we did. So I'm actually happy with the performance.
Yeah, absolutely. Why do you think people turned down that fight? Because even your originally scheduled opponent, Joanne, she was offered that fight as well. I mean, having the chance to step up in front of what I would guess is their largest audience to date, that opportunity doesn't happen every day. So why do you think people were so reticent to take that opportunity?
I think a lot of people are scared of her wrestling, and they're scared of getting a loss on their record, whereas I don't really care. I just want to go out there and fight and entertain. So I wasn't afraid to get in there and mix it up with her.
All right, and did training for a striker like Calderwood, then having the switch at the last minute to a grappler like Esparza, did that throw you off at all?
Sorry, what was that?
It's all right. I was asking if training for a striker like Calderwood and having a last-minute switch to a grappler like Carla Esparza, did that throw you off at all?
No, like, I don't normally train just one thing. Like, I did train a lot of stand-up and a lot of defensive wrestling for Calderwood, but I did train all around as well. So it was a huge difference going up against a Muay Thai to a wrestler, but we were quite confident in my skills and that, yeah, she'd get me down, but I'd be able to stop her from getting anywhere else once we got to the ground. So it was a bit of a change, but I don't care. Like, I normally just go out there to fight anyway. I don't have just plan A and that's it. So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
How about just a trip of going halfway around the world to fight? I mean, between, having your body clock thrown off and, I hate dealing with airports at the best of times. I live here in Toronto, Canada. My folks actually live in Kansas City. It's about a 2-hour flight, usually with a little stop over in Chicago. They've lost my luggage 4 times. So I can't imagine having to go from, I would guess you're flying out of Sydney all the way having to go into Kansas City. That just must be a killer walking in just, were you a zombie when you walked into KC?
Yeah, definitely. We had to fly from Brisbane to Sydney, from Sydney to San Francisco, and then from San Fran to Kansas. So it was about 27 hours in transit. And when we got there, we were all zombies. But it was lucky that it was at night, so we could just go straight to sleep. And I think I slept about 13 hours straight, and when I woke up, I was all good.
Yeah, so there was no jet lag problems for you?
No. The first day I felt a little bit off, but after that I was fine. I think my husband and my trainer got a little bit jet lagged and they couldn't sleep and stuff, but I was fine, which was really lucky.
That is fortunate. So you're in KC. What is Fight Week like for you? Because this is the largest show that you've ever been involved with.
Fight week was hectic. There was a lot of media to do, a lot of radio calls and stuff like that. So normally I just get to chill out and not worry about anything the week of the fight. But this time it was a bit hectic. But it was easy. Like, it was only phone calls and stuff, and I enjoyed doing them anyway. So we had a video shoot and a photo shoot as well, which was really fun. It was just nice to be a part of a real professional organisation and actually feel like it's a job. It's not just you're just turning up and fighting. It actually felt like I had a job. I had priorities, and it was really nice.
Yeah, you had a lot of media that week. It seemed that you were everywhere. So that wasn't a distraction for you at all. It, having to prepare for a title fight, having a weight cut to do, and still all the media on top of that. That didn't serve as a distraction for you at all.
No, not at all. Like I said before, I'm really chill, real mellow, so it didn't worry me at all.
Excellent. Glad to hear that. How was just the overall experience about being part of an all-female fight card? Did you feel a sense of support from your fellow fighters, or was there a sense of competition among everyone in the room?
No, I think we were all quite humble and quite friendly. It was a really good atmosphere, especially after the fights had been done and everyone was chilling out and drinking and stuff. It was an awesome after party. So yeah, it was nice to just be around girls and not like, when the guys are getting ready for a fight, they're real standoffish and pumping their muscles up and stuff. So yeah, it was really nice just to be around girls, and we all got along. So yeah, it was really cool.
Excellent. So it's fight time. You step in the cage, and Big John's standing there, and you're getting ready to officiate your fight. Did that trip you out at all? You come up, fighting on Aussie local cards, and all of a sudden, John McCarthy standing in the cage going, "Let's get it on!"
Yeah, it was a bit surreal. It didn't really hit me until after the fight, actually, and I got to watch the footage. I'm like, oh my god, that's Big John. So yeah, it was all quite surreal and didn't really hit home until afterwards.
Yeah. And you're in there fighting Carla Esparza. She's a two-time All-American college wrestler, and the takedown and the positional control were really her keys to victory that night. Were you getting frustrated the more that she took you down?
No, I was getting frustrated that I was neutralising her on the ground and we weren't getting stood up. Like, they just let her lie on me for the whole round. I think it should have been stood up a little bit more, but I don't know. I guess that's just me, because it feels like you're in there forever when you're down there. So I don't know really how long we were down there and she was neutralised, but I was happy that I could neutralise her on the ground and she couldn't pass my guard and get striking. But I feel like I should have worked more to get up instead of waiting for it to be stood up.
Yeah, and what I loved about you in that fight, though, is that as long as there was time on the clock, it seemed like you felt you were in the fight. You're always fighting back, even off your back. You dropped her towards the end of the fight with that right hand. It seemed like you were looking up and saying, all right, there's still time. I can still do this right to the final bell. And I absolutely love that. Those are fighters I love to watch.
Yeah, definitely. It's not over till it's over. So I'm always looking to finish the fight, and yeah, every second that I got the chance to get up and let my hands go, I did. So yeah, I'm quite happy with that aspect of the fight.
Yeah. And you came in as a really heavy underdog, but really made a statement that you're definitely no one to be trifled with. What's been the reaction that you've got from fans, from the media, as well as from Shannon and Janet at Invicta?
I think I surprised a lot of people. I didn't surprise the people from my gym and my trainer and that, because they always know what I'm capable of. A lot of people underestimate me because they think I talk the talk, but I can't walk the walk. But I definitely shut a lot of haters up, and I always have a little giggle to myself. I'm like, yeah, what up now?
And, I couldn't have said it better myself. People always love to look at, I think, just the odds that the odds makers are throwing out there and say, oh, well, there's however many to 1, 4 to 1, 5 to 1, I can't remember what it was. She's got no chance. And, it really felt like almost a Rocky movie. Like, I tried to stay impartial when I'm watching these things, but it got really hard because you really want the plucky underdog to win sometimes, and you just kept bringing it, and you made a believer of everyone that night, I believe.
Yeah, I definitely called it my own Rocky story. And you could just tell the crowd really got behind me. Like, I thought they wouldn't get behind me because I was fighting a US girl, so I thought they'd be all for Carla, but the crowd really got behind me and were yelling out Aussie, 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 and it was awesome. And I definitely like being the underdog. There's no pressure. I can just go out there and do my thing and not be expected to win and expected to put on a huge show. So yeah, I definitely like the underdog status.
Have Shannon and Janet talked to you about coming back for the next Invicta show in April?
Yeah, definitely. I'm fighting on the April show. We're just got to wait for an opponent to be confirmed.
Okay, and who would you like as opponent? Who do you think would be a good matchup? The Joanne Calderwood fight, is that still an option? Is that something that interests you, or are you looking in other directions?
Yeah, definitely. Anyone that they want me to fight, I'll fight. But I definitely want to fight Joanne and prove to everyone, because a lot of people are saying, oh yeah, she's good at striking, but she's not as good as Joanne, and they're still having that debate. There's always going to be up in the air about who would have won. So yeah, I definitely want to put an end to that and fight Joanne again. I just got to wait and see what Invicta want to do.
Well, I would love to see that fight, but whoever you step in there with, I know it's going to be great. I'm really looking forward to seeing you back under the Invicta banner again. And apart from the fight itself, there's been pics making the rounds on the internet of yourself, Carla, and Felice Herrig at the after party. It looked like you three were having a good time.
The after party was fun. We all got a little bit drunk and and had fun, but the photos are hilarious. I can't believe they actually made news headlines. That cracks me up, that they have to show a photo of Felice motorboating my ass. It's pretty funny.
It was probably the most newsworthy thing to happen that day, so there you have it. So how about, you went, you had a few drinks with Carla and Felice. Aussies are, somewhat legendary for their capacity to drink. Right up there with us Canadians, I like to think. So were Felice and Carla able to hang?
They were actually. I think I don't really party that much. I really party after my fight, and that's it. So I think they've got a little experience under their belts. But I hung with them. I think they gave me some pretty nasty shots that nearly made me gag. So they're party animals. They're crazy.
So what in the long run did more damage, the fight against Carla or the shots at the after party?
Definitely the fight against Carla. She's a tough girl, and like just a little pitter-patter punches that don't look like nothing. I was covered in bruises, so they definitely do something, even if it's just a pitter-patter.
Yeah. And so you're back in Australia now. You're the hometown hero, so to speak. Have you had to pay for a drink since you got back, or is everyone just so excited that Bec Hyatt's back home and made the showing that she made in Invicta?
I haven't really gone anywhere, to be honest. I've just been at home with the kids and chilling out and just spending some time with them. I've been in the gym, but they all just treat me like normal old rowdy. They don't really let the hype get to me. So yeah, it's been nice just to come home and chill out. So I'll have to wait and see when I go out next, but I don't reckon anything will come of it.
And your nickname is Rowdy. Obviously, there's Rowdy Ronda Rousey, who's probably the most famous women fighter in the sport. Who's rowdier?
I don't know. She's pretty rowdy, but if you only have to look at me or be in the same room as me for about 3 minutes, and you realise, well, I've got the name as well. So it's a toss-up.
There you go. I would like to see you two just, and obviously you're different weight classes, but just interact. Just you'll be at a press conference together, because that would be worth the price of admission alone, I think.
I don't know. You might be biting off more than you can chew.
Quite possibly. Well, Bec, we've talked a lot about your career, and obviously you've got a great career happening, but what is Bec Hyatt like outside the cage? What do you do when you're not beating people up?
I honestly just chill out with the kids. I take them swimming or go to the park and stuff. I've got a little puppy now as well, so I chill out with Meaty. And I like to shop when I've got some money. But other than that, I'm pretty much in the gym, hanging out at the gym or training, or at home with the kids.
That doesn't boring. Yeah, that doesn't sound very rowdy at all.
I'm rowdy when I go to fight. I go to fight shows a lot. There's a lot of local shows as well out here. So, and we've got a fair few fighters that fight on the shows. So I go to fight shows and stuff. That's pretty much my out time. I don't really go out and party that much, but when I do, it's a bit crazy.
I have no doubt, and there's pictures to prove it apparently. But you yeah, for starters. But you mentioned the local Australia MMA scene. It continues to grow. UFC's been over there a couple of times now. Who are some names that we should be paying attention to from Australia that are on their way up and maybe haven't hit the general public's awareness yet?
I reckon the general public already know Robert Whittaker. He won the Tough finale, and he's amazing. He's an amazing athlete. I saw one of his fights the first fight show I went to actually, and saw him on there, and I knew the big things were coming for him. So I love following him and what he's doing. He's real proud Aussie and sticks to his guns, and he wants to stay in Aussie and train, which is awesome. So definitely Robert Whittaker, keep an eye out for him. And there's Sharby actually. I did a seminar at Brian Ebersole's, and I got paired up with Sharby, and he's awesome. He was the first Australian to pull off a twister in a fight, which is really cool.
Yeah.
He's pulled it off twice now, so he's pretty crazy. But yeah, keep an eye out for him. He's only a little one though. He's a little midget.
I'm sure he'll appreciate that.
He knows good things come in small packages.
There you have it. And they come in 115-pound packages as well, Beck. You're definitely proof of that. It's been just great speaking with you, and I know you got to get going because you've got another film crew that's coming by to experience the rowdy lifestyle, so to speak.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit crazy. I don't know if they can handle the kids. They're a bit crazy. We'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, what show is this for, and when will this be airing in Australia?
It's for The Project, and it'll be airing sometime next week. They haven't given me an exact date yet.
Okay. Well, I hope that goes well for you. I know it will. It's just been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Can't wait for April when you'll be back under the Invicta banner. One last question for you, something that we ask everyone that comes on the program. If you had the opportunity, you get to punch one person from any walk of life right in the face, who would it be?
Oh dear, probably Julia Gillard.
Julia Gillard. Why Julia Gillard?
She's just an idiot.
You know what?
She's just an idiot. She's just a stupid ranger with no idea. She just makes us Australians look like bogans.
Well, there you go. That's good enough reason for me. Thanks again, Beck, for stopping by and classing up my program today. Tell the people where they can find you on the Twitter, in the social media universe, Carrier Pigeon, anything else you got going on. And, of course, any thank yous or shout-outs you want to give, this is your time.
Cool. My Twitter handle is @RowdyBeck. My Facebook page is facebook.com/RowdyBeck. I actually have a website now. It's www.rowdybeck.com. So get on there and check it out. And also check out my banner on my Facebook fan page. It's got all my sponsors and everyone that's helped me out for my last camp. And follow their pages and check them out because they're really good companies. And also I'd like to thank my gym, Impact MMA, and all my training partners that have helped me get to where I am.
There you have it. Rowdy Beck Hyatt here on In the Cage with Bards on nextsportstar.com, and we'll be back with more MMA action right after this.